This week's episode of the multiple award-winning Here For It podcast is brought to you by the Outbreak Monkey. A DC priest has coronavirus.
He done shook the hands of the 500 people.
He offered communion and shook hands of more than 500 people last week, and on February 24th, all the worshipers have been instructed to self-quarantine. God damn.
So they 2 weeks into the quarantine now. Imagine having to use your vacation days for corona. And not to book these cheap flights everybody talking about they booking.
Now, if we could just get the rest of the churches to self-quarantine, we might be in good shape out here.
At least till Easter, y'all already in Lent.
Also here in the DC area, popular sex party has been canceled.
Is you serious?
Yes.
You serious?
Okay, I'm gonna read you the press release. I ain't gonna say the name of it.
A press release for a sex party?
All events and sessions for the month of March has been postponed. We care about the health and safety of our guests. What?
He's attempted to say.
They met guests, but they didn't spell it out like that. Please remember to be safe and take extra precaution to stop the spread of COVID-19. No decision has been made on April or May events yet. Also, Wendy Williams, co-host, is not going to be in the building either.
What?
She put out a press release as well.
Oh, that's the ring. Got the logo at the bottom.
So, I don't know what Wendy gonna do without a cheering section or anybody to help her figure out what she's talking about.
She's like, you ma'am, you get where I'm coming from. Like, nobody to support her points.
She's not gonna have that, apparently.
She's like, you.
She's just gonna have to talk to Norman the whole time.
Yeah. Norman like, I'm in the bed too. Shit.
So, the Outbreak Monkey is out here.
So, there's not gonna be an audience, or she just not gonna record?
No, she's gonna record. She's not gonna be an audience. No co-hosts.
It's gonna be weird.
I can't wait to tune in. I want to see that. I want to, because like she's been stumbling a lot lately, and I'm like,
They had to tell her who J-Lo was the other day. The difference between J-Lo and somebody she had done said.
Oh yeah, was she confusing her with Jennifer Lawrence
or Selena Gomez? I don't know. One of them people.
It was something that she should have easily known.
She should, as much as she sit there and say she loves J-Lo, and J-Lo's mom comes to the show often. So I'm like, how come you can't? Okay, cool story, bro.
And J-Lo's from New York. It's not like she's not like a local superstar.
Well, no sex parties and no
going to the Wendy Williams show. Cancel y'all tickets, girls.
I guess you gotta follow the sex party on Instagram. How does this work?
On Twitter. See when the updates come along. I ain't gonna say the name, but some of y'all that know, y'all know.
Search hashtag DC Freaks and DMV Freaks. Y'all be on there. I've been searching for my third shift Twitter.
Okay. Research purposes.
And nosy.
Okay.
Yeah, this for me. My name is Ronald Matters. Follow me on the internet at Ronald Matters, and of course, RonaldMatters.com.
I am the Superman, TheSupaman, aka the Pleasure Principal, and that's Principal PAL. BKA the retired dick thrower to the Divine Nine.
That was a lot. Okay.
It used to be a lot.
Yeah. What's our icebreaker?
Our icebreaker this week is, if one of your friends posts or says something crazy on Obama's internet, what should you do or say?
You really got on Beyonce's internet and said this, because it was Beyonce's internet first. We love Obama. We miss you. You really got on Beyonce's internet. You really got on Beyonce's internet and said this. And then they're gonna like, well, if you don't support my opinion, you can get off my page. Then you say, you that girl I thought you was.
You were exactly who I thought you were.
You was that girl I thought you, like Alyssa Edwards.
Just like I thought. Trash. But then at that point, like, do you have to, is that really your friend?
I mean, that's the part about being friends. Everybody aren't the same. Hopefully, if you have a well-balanced friend circle, everybody don't have, it's not like sitting there watching Fox News where they all have the same thought, the same opinion. You should have friends with differing thoughts and views on the world.
But if their thoughts are like
homophobic,
transphobic, some shit like that,
then
what should you do?
You handle accordingly. Yeah.
You should check them.
Yeah, that's why I said you say, you really got on Beyonce's internet and said this. That's me attempting to say it lightly and make a joke, include Beyonce. You know, the gays love to do that. And then...
But they might be straight.
Then you throw in some Alyssa Edwards RuPaul's Drag Race shade. You that girl I thought you was.
But if they straight and old, they don't know nothing about what you just said.
On the third message, you're like, well, girl, see, I tried to say it lightly, but this is problematic. This is my point. Give your little 3 supporting points. Give a conclusion. Then the girl's going to be like, too long, didn't read. And then your response is, that's the problem with you now. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with you now.
So I think that there is like a threshold because I have to realize that I have to scroll past some shit. Mm-hmm. Now, if it is harmful to people and communities, then I'm going to take a quick pit stop on what you said on the internet and be like, hey, friend, knock, knock, get this together. Yeah. But in this political season, people would be saying shit politically. I'm like, who helped you form this wrong ass thought? So I just have to scroll past it because otherwise I'll just be there all day, clocked in on Facebook and Twitter trying to help people with facts and stuff.
And your reports to still do.
So I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So certain things I think we as not just the community but everybody just needs to learn to scroll past some shit unless it's doing harm to certain communities.
Women's, children, brown folks.
Anybody without the rights of a white man.
Animals, I guess.
They ain't got the rights of a white man now.
It's more animal shelters than there is homeless shelters.
There is. No, I'm going to say now they get certain privileges in white homes that they don't get in other homes. I can tell you there are certain things my dog will be able to get away with at Susan's home that he can't get away with over here.
Come on out.
Anyway, that's our icebreaker this week.
That was good.
Our word of the day this week, WERD, is pay pig.
Is this like the you said the findom thing earlier?
Look at you got one right.
And I went and Googled it. I was like, what's a findom? Can I do it? Is it lace and leather? Okay, so what's a pay? I guess Trey pays you to talk to you stupid, probably. You have to be a submissive. Because he's using his money as a financial thingy to
if you believe that that's submission, because some people don't.
Or I want to say, or is that the dominant thing?
Yeah, because some people believe that I'm dominating you because I'm taking your money.
Nigga, if you ain't got the $2,500, don't ring my line. And you need to have the $2,500 if you want to keep ringing this line, or else it'll be cut off.
Or you need to send the money beforehand. let the Cash App ring and then you ring. Anyway,
what if they notifications late on the Cash App because the network down, and Trey needs to talk to you right now? Nigga, I ain't got no notifications.
That means
I'm getting in either.
That means my network down. The word of the day, pay pig. Another form of findom, which we had previously talked about on a previous episode, also known as financial domination, which is why I said it's not necessarily a form of submission in certain instances, because sometimes they're the ones dominating you. They're more in a dominant position of deciding what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, and how they're going to do it. A pay pig, the definition is saying it's a submissive person, but like I just said, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a submissive person. Generally speaking, a man who gets sexual gratification from being financially exploited. So actually, that's the person on the other end of the transaction. So they're the one that's paying. That's the pay pig. The client is just the client. The pay pig is the one that's paying. For clarification, being a pay pig can come in all sorts of forms, like people that spend large sums of money to be dominated or disrespected. Probably one of the easiest examples is from last season of Pose, where Elektra had the white man in his own garage and they was just partying up at his beach house.
They went to the club and everything.
Yeah,
had to read Susan.
Had his car, had his house, and he was just in the garage in the heat, in leather, suffering,
peeing on himself
and liking it.
Scat. I know, right?
My stomach. He is an example of a pay pig. So that is our word of the day, WERD. Our affirmation this week is spring is upon us, and we are nearing the end of another draining retrograde. This is a perfect time for a reset and recalibration. Spring into things you've been planning to do since the new year started that you have made every excuse not to do. Spring into a new chapter of life and shed that winter coat. That is our affirmation this week. Support for this ghetto-ass podcast comes from a couple awesome donors and from you guys, the beautiful people listening right now.
21 patrons, thank you.
If you would like to support this podcast and keep this podcast on the air, please get over to our Patreon right now. And for at least $1 a month, you got $1. I know you got $1. You can support this podcast and keep a black gay podcast on the air. The only black gay podcast that talks about black gay issues from the black gay perspective. And including other members of our community, as we will be talking about coming up. So we love you guys. Make sure that you subscribe and like and share amongst your communities if you don't got $1.
And even if you got share it anyway.
Yeah.
Just share. Thank you. We love you.
Here we go. Last week, we talked about protecting yourself with Irish Spring. This week, Adrienne Bailon confirmed how nasty she is. In a bad way. And
hashtag nasty woman.
She is a nasty woman. And, just in a bad way.
And not the way Hillary Clinton was talking about.
Not that way. Long ago are the days of that kind of nasty woman, unfortunately. Like, we really mean, like, this is nasty. On the real, recently, she admitted to not washing her hands after using the bathroom at home.
They had the medical specialist on to talk about corona. And they was all sitting there, yeah. Protect yourself. And then somehow they were talking about reasons why you should wash your hands. Like, like after using the bathroom.
Yeah, and she just thought that meant like you should wash your hands because you're in a public space and you're touching public things. I'm like, no, the dirtiest things that you're touching is your booty and your vagina.
And you touching it all the time.
And then you wonder. So she also went on to say that she's the most healthy person in her house because everybody else is getting sick. I'm like, yeah, you the petri dish. You the one spreading all the goddamn germs because you don't wash your hands after you playing around with your pussy and your ass in the goddamn bathroom.
Playing with her underboob sweat.
and ain't she the one that wasn't it like last year she was talking about she didn't shower every day? Wasn't that her?
Keep her lifted in prayer.
What?
Keep her lifted in 40 gallons of Lysol.
Irish Spring can be the key. People, trust me. It's cheap. It gets things done. You can pick whatever you want to. But like I said last week, Irish Spring will cover you.
I'm here for
it. Next. RuPaul's Drag Race happened
the second episode.
Second episode of season 12 happened the other day. And I think probably the most exciting thing about the whole episode was the very first 5 seconds. When they put up this disclaimer because
we was like, how are they going to process this?
Baby. They have already disqualified a girl before the girl had even walked into the workroom. Miss Sherry Pie, please come down to the carpet. We got things to discuss. If you don't know what I'm talking about,
we don't.
Make sure that you first look at the disclaimer that RuPaul's Drag Race put out because production was like, listen, we got to get ahead of this story. We got to like spin this before people like not watch the rest of this whole goddamn season, which is a clue to me. So at the very, very beginning of the episode, first 5 seconds of the episode, they put out a disclaimer saying, we don't agree with the behavior of Sherry Pie and blah, 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 this and that. And she will be, out of respect for the other contestants, she will be disqualified and will not be in the grand finale.
And we're still going to air the rest of this season, though, because we agreed to these ad dollars already.
And we already spent all this money. RuPaul ain't giving shit back. Nicki Minaj ain't giving shit back. Nope. And that's that. So the best we can do is just show y'all what we got. So that told me one big glaring thing, unfortunately. And I don't really feel like this is a spoiler because they spoiled it. We're not spoiling it here because these are the things that they said. How would she be at the grand finale?
Well, all the queens come down to the grand finale.
They come, but not are in the grand finale.
So you're saying Sherry Pie is a contestant for the final 3
I
or
think
4 or whatever we're going to pick this year?
I really think that's the biggest reason why they said that. Because otherwise it'd be like, oh, okay, well, she disqualified. She ain't going to be at the reunion.
So I think it was like Thursday or Friday. It was like a couple days before the episode aired last week. BuzzFeed News released an article about allegations that Sherry Pie was they said catfishing. I said that's more like sexual predator. But I'm sure
the hashtag that I wrote was drag predator.
I'm sure that BuzzFeed reached out for VH1 for a comment before they published it. And they were like, well, can you use this word in the headline and not this? They're trying to do some damage control, and probably BuzzFeed and VH1 agreed on it a little bit together. Well, girl, it's going out, but you can talk to us about it if you want to. So, a guy on Facebook said that it was very weird for him to have to sit there and watch Sherry Pie on TV every week.
He hadn't even watched Sherry Pie yet because she didn't even air until the second premiere, quote unquote, because that wasn't really a premiere. That just gave me second episode because I was like, this the B squad. No shade.
It actually was.
No shade to anyone that was there because I think that they are decent,
talented. So he said it was going to be very difficult to watch Sherry Pie on TV every week, knowing what she had did to him. He told his story about how he was a young actor in New York hoping to get a role, and Sherry Pie was pretending she was an HBO casting agent putting a show together called Bulk together, and all these men were sending her provocative videos because, of course, it's going to be on HBO. It's going to be provocative. It's going to be sexy. They want to make sure that you have the acting chops and also have the sexy chops. I mean, it's called Bulk.
She was also pressuring them to do steroids. To get
some
bigger.
man was injecting all these types of stuff. I'm like, what?
So, again, this is very... It's not the same thing as Ed Buck, but this is very in line with what we've been talking about for the better part of the year with Ed Buck of these white people in power that are pretending to be a part of the community but abusing the community at the same time. So she was posing as a female casting director. One, Sherry Pie is not even passing as a drag queen. The name that she used was Allison Mosey, and she was pressuring these soon-to-be actors to send in videos to audition for this alleged thing on HBO. The girls called up to HBO and asked about it once, they had sent in 4 or 5 videos and didn't get no callbacks or nothing. Weird. And called in and was like, hey, what's going on with Allison? They were like, who's Allison? No one knew who the fuck Allison Mosey was. This is a person that Sherry Pie created. She created another persona of a straight female casting director so she could get these attractive men to send in videos for her to do God knows what.
Play with herself.
God knows, we don't know. But what we do know is this is not even alleged anymore because she has admitted it. And then talked about she was getting mental health help for it. But the last allegation came in December. So when did you stop doing this?
She said she didn't realize it until after she had filmed Drag Race that she needed to be better. And then Drag Race like, girl, don't put our name in this. Disqualified, put it up in front of the episode. We don't know what she's talking about. Well, they know.
They know exactly.